Wow, I never thought I'd be making this video. This is a really important video to make, I feel. Basically today I'm making a video about the actual truth of what's going on. A lot of people, especially in England, have been messaging and asking what the hell is going on. For those who don't know, I ended up in rehab, which that obviously the preface of that sounds horrendous, but it was a mental health rehabilitation centre basically. A lot of people are very confused because they see me as this happy-go-lucky and sort of person in real life. Unfortunately, there's a huge stigma around mental health, and I'm here today to basically just explain my story, and I can only speak on behalf of myself. Obviously I have made quite a few friends in the rehab facility, which and if you're watching this, I love you and you're amazing, and I guess we all have our own struggles, and I think we all need to remember that we're all living our own story, and just to be careful. But what basically the reason I'm making this video is when I was 19 I got diagnosed with circumstantial depression. Basically a circumstance that I want to keep personal to me happened, which was kind of out of my control, and at the time it felt like the whole world was caving in. So I was put on an antidepressant. I didn't go to a psychologist. I was obviously recommended to go and speak about what was going on, but I couldn't. There was something in me that just wouldn't let me go there. 2 years in June, I hurt my leg severely. I ripped all the tissue, tendons, everything. A few months prior to that, I was in a very horrendous circumstance. Again, I'm not going to share exactly what happened. Some of you watching this, or quite a few of you, will probably know what happened, but I prefer that not to be written in the comments. But something happened, then I hurt my leg, and I was put on really strong medication. Now this is where the story gets fairly dark, and I do give a trigger warning in this part of the story because it's not a very, nice topic to discuss, but it's real life, and that's kind of why I'm sharing this. So the June before last year, I ended up on really strong pain relief. Now when I say really strong, I mean really, really, really strong. I'm talking morphine, tramadol, and when I say morphine, I'm talking oxycodone, oxynorm, and oxycontin, which, and for those who know, oxycontin is one of the strongest morphine pain relief that you can get. Anyway, during my time, I went for a leg reconstruction 8 months after the accident, because I went back to England. Single worst decision in my life. It should have got sorted very quickly, but because I was so determined to go home for that Christmas, I didn't, and I put it off, which is the single most ridiculous thing I've ever done. Now during that process of being on all this pain relief, I was put on a medication called Lyrica, which is more commonly known as pregabalin. Now this is where the story really difficult. This particular drug is known to mess with your brain. And now when I say mess with your brain, I literally mean frazzle your brain. It makes things that are common sense kind of airy-fairy, and it really messes with the brain hugely, like absolutely massively. And those who have been on it, you know, we all have our different experiences. A person in my family was on Lyrica for, I think, several days, and she had a very bad reaction. Now, you know, we're all on our own journey again, but for me, the side effects were so scary. Yeah, it messed up a lot of the relationships I had in my life, and it really messed me up. For after my surgery, which was a year ago, over a year now, I needed to get off this stuff. Today marks the first day where I stopped the Lyrica, which is a huge success, which is a massive breakthrough. This particular drug has taken 22 months to start, become addicted and come off it. It has been the hardest 22 months of my life. And I don't say that, you know, willy-nilly. Like, this is real talk. And when you've got chronic pain, you do whatever you can to take the pain away. So I became addicted to prescription medication, severely addicted, life-threateningly addicted. It got to the point where it was all I could think about, the medication, and it ruined me. It totally ruined me. Before the accident, I was dancing at Desiree Dance Academy in Clarkson. I was working really hard in retail. I was a supervisor at the time. I had great friends around me, a really supportive family network. But as soon as the accident happened, I changed. And I'm not here to bash anyone, because at the end of the day, my story, a lot of people cannot be around this because it is so difficult. And that's kind of why I'm making this video, to explain what the hell went on the past 22 months, because I haven't been myself. And those who were in my life prior and I've lost along the way, I want to say sorry. I want to say I'm sorry for becoming someone who I wasn't. It has been the hardest experience in my life. But from today, I actually start cutting down on all the medication. I turned 24 in September, and by then I want to be off everything. I don't want this life. Basically, I decided this morning, and I decided when I was in rehab a few weeks ago, that I'm done. I'm done. There's either two ways right now. I can either give in, totally give in, be in and out of hospital, be in and out of psychiatrists, psychologists, doctors, everything, or I can pick myself back up for the first time in 22 months, and I call the shots on my life. And the single moment this morning speaking to the doctor, I got emotional, because I was like, no, I'm done now. I'm done. I can't do this anymore. This has been 2 years of absolute hell, and that's not who I am. I've been through the ups and downs like everyone, but I always pick myself back up. This time was very different. This time's the first time that people have seen me get knocked down and not get back up, and sit and wallow and get depressed and get anxious and get, you know what, even get suicidal. Because when you feel out of control and when you're not running your life, it means something or someone else is. And in my case, it was the medication. The medication was calling the shots. The medication was keeping me going. And I'm not that girl. I've never been that girl. Before my accident, it would take a lot for me to take 2 Nurofen, 2 Panadol. I very rarely took that. But this happened so quickly. So the gist of this video is that we're all in our own little time, we're all in our story, only you know what's going on with you, to not judge each other, just to love each other, and you know, you can do it, whatever you set your mind to, you can do it. And everyone told me this for months, but it was this morning that I was like, oh my god, yeah, this is it, this is my life. So this is why we're going to leave the video. I hope you enjoyed it. It was just a little explanation to explain what the hell just happened. So I love you all, and I will see you very soon. See ya.